Hello kids, welcome once again to Learn Maths with Bola, and today we'll be learning together the topic fractions. Fractions. Now let's do some activities before we go into the core of what fractions are. The shapes below are divided into how many? So how many parts? The shapes below are divided into how many parts? Let's start with the first one, 1 and 2. So the first shape is divided into 2 parts, and the second one is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4. So it is divided into 4 parts. Other one, we have another beautiful shape here. It's looking like pizza to me. Pizza. Yes, it's looking like pizza. This is divided into 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8. So this is divided into 8 parts. So this shape is divided into 8. And what shape is this? A circle. Correct. Give yourself a clap there. Even though I can't see you, I want to assume I'm interacting with you. So now you can see that I've separated them with 2 colors. We are still counting the number of parts these shapes are divided into. So we have 1, 2. So this is divided into 2 parts. Then we have 1, 2, and 3. So this shape is divided into 3 parts. This is very important in this topic. We have to understand the concept of parts, like the number of parts a shape is divided into, because that forms the basis of a fraction. So we have done series of shapes, and we have learned together, and we have checked them together to know how many parts they are divided into. So now we move on. How many parts are blank? So we are looking at this circle, and you can see that it is divided into 8. Now I want to count the parts that are blank. That means the parts of this circle that are not shaded or have the color white. That is the same color with the background. They are blank, they don't have any color. So we start counting. Let's start from there where you have the question mark. Is this blank? Yes. So let's count. That is the first part that is blank. So we have 1. The next part, is it blank? No. So we move on to the next one. Is it blank? So just follow the question mark. Is this blank? No. So we move on to the next one. Is this blank? Yes. So we count and we have 2. So 1 plus 1, which is 2. We go on to the next part, which is also shaded. It is not blank. And the next one here is also shaded, not blank. Then we go on to the next one, which is what? Blank. So we have 3. And the last one is shaded. So how many parts are blank? Simply 3. So 3 out of the 8 are blank or are not shaded. I guess you understand what I'm trying to say. So 3 out of these 8 parts are blank. So a fraction is simply defined as the portion of a whole. So I can use the example: if you bought a pizza, you bought a pizza and you share the pizzas among yourselves. Now most times they are divided into 8. A pizza is divided into 8. Once you take 1, you are taking 1 out of the 8 portions. That is for 8. Let's say for 8 people, if you are 8, so you have taken 1 out of the 8, 1 serving out of the 8. Good. So that is just a fraction. And a fraction has 3 parts. A fraction has 3 parts. A typical fraction can be in 3 forms, but it has 3 parts too. We have the first part. In this, you have 3/1/4. The 3 is where we call the whole part. That means the whole part is simply the part of a fraction that is not divided, that is still complete. It has not been separated, it is still complete. We have the numerator and we have the denominator. And the numerator now. The numerator is the part of the whole that is chosen. Just like I said that in the pizza, if you decide to take 1 out of everything, that is the numerator. That is the part that was taken. Or if your question is, depends on the question or the angle you are looking at it from. So but in this, for the sake of learning, the part that you have chosen, that is the numerator, and the denominator is the number of parts the shape is divided into. Don't forget that the fraction can come in any shape. The shape can be in any shape, and even it can be in terms of population. Like I can say that in a class, if you have 10 boys and 5 girls, or vice versa, the moment I say what fraction of the class are boys, it's just 10 over the total number of people in the class. So fraction is not limited to shapes. Let's put that in mind. Fraction is not limited to shapes. It can be in terms of population, it can be in terms of apartment, it can be in terms of different things. So the numerator is the part that is chosen, and that is usually the part on top, while the denominator is the part beneath. Let's look at this shape again. What fraction of the shape is shaded? So this time we are going to be writing it in form of fraction. The part shaded is 5 when you count, and over the total number of the parts, that is how many parts is this shape divided into, which is 8. So the part shaded is just 5 out of all the 8. So you have 5 out of 8. Then we have what fraction of the shape is not shaded, which was what we did before. 3 is not shaded out of 8. So the concept is so simple and easy. The part that you are asked, or the quantity that you are asked in your question, is what is up, while the total number is what is down. Check out some example. What fraction of the shape is shaded? We can see the first one has beautiful yellow color, and the second has something like magenta. Yes, so the part shaded in the first one is 6. The yellow colors, just count the yellow colors, we have 6, and the total of everything, that means the number of parts the shape is divided into, is 8. We have 8 small rectangles in one big rectangle. So you have 6/8. The other one, we have, this is a triangle. Looking at the shapes very well, it is divided into 8 triangles in one big rectangle. So we have 8 triangles in one big rectangles. what do? The part shaded, just count the magenta color that you have there. You have 1, 2, 3. So we have 3 parts shaded over the total number of parts, which is 8. Another question here: what fraction of the shape is not shaded? Can you do that? Just try it. The shape is divided into how many parts? That's the first thing. We have 4 parts, and 1 part is blank, that is not shaded. So we have 1 over 4. So fraction is as simple as that. Now, probably let me use another example you can visualize. You have 10 pairs of shoes. Let's say you have 10 pairs of shoes. If you decide to just wear 1 to school, while you decide that, or let's say you've won the one out of how many pairs? 10 pairs. So you have won 1 pair of shoe out of the 10 pairs of shoes that you have. So that fraction will be what? 1 over 10. Very simple. So just visualize what you have in the house. How many plates do you have in the kitchen? How many do you use when you want to eat? So just imagine, that's simple fraction exercises that you can do. What fraction of this shape is green? Test of colors. In math, we have to test colors. We test different things because math is wide. So we have green. What fraction of the shape is green? Did I hear you say 1 over 4? Correct. 1 over 4. So you can see that I colored the answer with the right color. So if you didn't know green is the color of your 1 and 4. So that is color green. What fraction of the shape is blue? What fraction of the shape is blue? So the first one, what do you think it is? 1 over 2. Correct. 1 part is blue divided by the total number of parts that you have in the shape, which is 2. We have 1 blue and 1 orange. So we have 1 over 2 as our answer. Then the other one, we have 2 blues and 1 green. Now if you don't know what blue color is, the color of your 1 and 2 is blue. Then here you have 2 over 3, which is also colored blue. And you can see that some parts of the screen are also colored blue. So blue color, we have 2 over 3 and 1 over 2. You can pick out your crayons at home and just check it. Crayon, just write the fraction of each color: your yellow, your green, your blue, your brown, black. Just write out the fractions and use it as an exercise. I'm giving you ideas of exercises you can do yourself at home. What fraction of the shape is orange? This shape is a cuboid divided into how many parts? 1, 2, 3, 4, 5, 6, 7, 8, 9, 10, 11, 12. So you have a cuboid divided into 12 parts, and you can see that it's small cubes in one, different cubes in one. So what do? Count the number of orange color. Good. Just count it. Is an exercise. Let's try. Okay, so we have how many orange color here? 4. Good. So we have 4 over 12. As simple as that. So fraction is very simple, very easy and simple. So let's talk about the types of fraction. Types of fractions. So let's talk about the types of fraction. The proper fraction, the improper fraction, and the mixed fraction. We have the proper fraction, the improper fraction, and the mixed fraction. Very easy. A proper fraction is simply a fraction that the numerator is smaller than the denominator. Don't forget that your numerator is the number above and your denominator is the number below. So a proper fraction has a smaller numerator and the denominator is bigger. Example, we have 2 over 8. 2 is smaller than 8. 3 over 4. 3 is smaller than 4. We have 1 over 20, where 1 is smaller than 20. 5 over 9, where your 5 is smaller than 9. So these are examples of proper fractions. They just follow the proper way fractions should be. So they are proper fractions. Then we have the improper fractions. Improper fractions. This type of fraction has a numerator that is bigger than the denominator. It's like saying that your toddler, maybe you have a brother that is about 1 year, should carry you if you're about 5 years. It looks, how can I carry somebody that is older than me? The weight is big. Exactly. That is what an improper fraction is. The bigger one is up and the smaller and the slim one is down. So we have examples here: 6 over 2, 9 over 7, 15 over 4, and 30 over 12. So you can see how heavy those numbers up are. And they are just pressing down on the one that is down, is below. So improper fractions, because we don't want our numbers to be that way, we want it to be like a proper fraction. That is where a mixed fraction comes in. So a mixed fraction contains a whole number and a proper fraction. A mixed fraction contains a whole number and a proper fraction. Example is this 2. So when we want to call it, we call 2 whole number 2 over 8 to show that you have a whole number before the proper fraction. This is a simple explanation of what a mixed fraction is. So let's use our orange as an example. We have one orange that is not shared, then we have another that isn't shared, then we have the last set of orange that is shared into 4 different oranges. So one is shared into 4. In terms of fraction, this first one is 1. It is whole. So whole is just 1. So when you hear whole, it means 1. It is complete. It has not been divided. You have not separated it. So whole is 1. The second one is also whole. It has not been shared. I didn't cut it, you didn't cut it. It is just the one orange, just like your mom came from the mall. She went for groceries and she brought oranges, and you just see one is just in whole. It hasn't been shared. Then mom decides to just say, okay, kids, come, let's drink or let's have a orange. Then when she wants to give you, she decided, okay, let me just share it into 1 into 4 for each of you. Let me share one orange into 4 for each of you. So you know for yourself, since you are 4, you will take 1 out of the 4. So the fraction of the orange you took is what? 1/4. So you took 1 out of the 4. Your other siblings is also given 1 each. Assume you have siblings. Assume that you are 4 in your family. Just like we are 4 in my own family. Let's assume you are 4. I'm assuming we are 4 now. So I would take just 1 out of the 4 so that it can go round. So the fraction of my own orange is what? 1 out of 4. Now what do we just do? Add 1 plus 1 together. The whole part will be 2. So we have 2 oranges that hasn't been shared. Then the part I took is what? 1/4. So this is just an example to explain what mixed fraction is. So it can be pineapples, it can be anything. So that is just a simple explanation of how to combine whole numbers and fraction. So thank you for this tutorial. If you have not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel. Thank you for watching, and follow me on my social media platforms. Questions and downloadable and printable worksheets will also be available there, so you can just download them, answer them, and the answers will also be available. And if you've not subscribed, please subscribe to this channel for more tutorials. Thank you. I love you. Bye.